we saw even when they did kind of commit and it was a little awkward for wildcard there with the tombstone on the high ground. They've got a 4-staff on Alex, and he's got the shard cookie, so they're actually able to kite away, you know, 1,000 range on a hero really, really easily. And
game, that is to be the guy in the front, making space for Loach to get off the real damage.
yeah, maybe this gives him a tool to survive against getting blink called. Mel, I think that's kind of the main, the main point here. But
ooh, smoke up from both teams here. Be a bit of a target. He's just walked into the entirety of Polaris here. They're going to initiate upon him, and they're not going to be able to get off the song. That is going to be a dead nugget. Immediate buyback though, and a jump in and a call onto 2. Can they follow it up with any damage? Yes, they can. That's reinforced, taken out of the fight as they take down the tombstone as well. Polaris set scattering here as they just immediately lose 2 of their most important heroes in the fight, and now it's Eves in the pit, taking down Roshan.
This completely belongs to wildcard. There's absolutely nothing that Polaris can do to contest this one. Now with a 9k lead,
is under attack.
They held on in the early game, and
Tower is under attack.
Even the troll with a satanic there just couldn't do a thing. It's just ridiculous how quickly these heroes are getting dropped.
yeah, they're both just so susceptible to this initiation, and Polaris with no real save. I mean, look at Lelouch, he's even just TPing to this top wave. They're gonna see him on this Radiant Ward, so they know that he's stuck up here. There's no way for him to escape. He has to try and wait out the 25 seconds successfully. And Divine Llama's on his case.
Hello, friend. Goodbye, friend. Divine Llama, big red man, and getting it done.
Lelouch knows. He pings. He's like, they have to have vision here. They saw me TPing on the wave or something.
They're going in the mid lane there. They're going to be able to get the dieback from Sam. Maybe. Hello, Alone's coming over. He's dealing a lot of damage to Natsumi here, chasing Natsumi back. Maybe even doing more than that if he gets the crit through. Oh no, the cookie comes in, but Natsumi gets off the battle trance. The Requiem is there though, but Natsumi's just going to be able to take him down regardless, but will die immediately afterwards as Divine Llama gets the spin, now gets the call, moving for Xavius as well. He's trying to help him out, but they don't get the call, so Xavius is going to be able to get away in the invis, but yeah, I don't know, trading the SF for 3 heroes like that, I think that's a trade you're probably going to make.
Yeah, oh, the cookie, a little bit awkward. He just survived. I don't think that's exactly where Alone wanted to end up, but yeah, still certainly not bad. All these fights are just happening on the Polaris side of the map, on Wildcard's terms, and it doesn't really feel like any of the the next handful of items for the Lina or the Troll is really going to change the status quo. trying to punish the Llama down here.
Yeah, they're moving on to the axe, and I think they've managed to catch him out here. Does not have the BKB available, so it is going to be a kill for the Luch onto the axe. A little bit of revenge for this Lina.
All right, it's something, and they'll finally be able to maybe get this bottom lane out and get a little bit of space on the map. But Eves has now overtaken the two dire cores. Scoreline still nothing to write home about, 3-3 and 3, but he's hit a whole lot of creeps, and it's like we said in the very long fill at the start of the series that even when he's having a slow start, Wildcard can rely on this guy to get the farm that he needs and end up as the carry that his team needs him to be. Helps that he's got Alone along for the ride as well, who's having an absolutely amazing game.
One thing I'm a little bit I mean, we saw that cookie earlier onto the Shadow Fiend, you know, as you say, not the greatest position he wanted to be in there. Right,
Gotta be careful.
He's not going to be able to get off the Enrager, he's just dead. Oh dear. Alex is nearby though, he can 4-star Finn and gobble up if needs be. Doesn't really need to though, just give him the cookie, 4-star him away, and that'll get him out of dodge, but yeah, not the ideal usage of an Aegis there.
No, certainly not. He didn't have it for that much longer, so not the end of the world, but I think Wildcard would have liked to have maybe grouped up and gone and just taken some control over the enemy triangle, you know, get some more vision down there, continue with the lane cutting from Sam, just keep farming up the whole map.
Yep, and looking like next Roshan is probably going to be the next big objective we look at. Neither team having quite enough of an advantage. I mean, well, Wildcard are pretty jacked, honestly. And they want to go with a play with this Ags on Alex. This could be a very interesting one.
I'm wondering even if, are they going to be using it that much for initiation, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
The Llama carrying this gem around, so you can just continue constricting the map.
Blink Call is a very, very hard thing to, like, you know, carapace or BKB or whatever, but a thrown in accident. Oh, another amazing setup here for Davai Llama as they get 2 kills straight off the bat. Set up beautifully by Sammy, boys. They look forward for more. Force under the tier 3, but I don't think they care. There comes Adam's Halberd to slow down Eves, but it's delaying the inevitable as Davai Llama gets another kill. And now they just start slamming away on the tier 3 tower.
They are absolutely feeling it this game. Really.
Dire's top tower has fallen in battle.
What a performance from all of Wildcard. Polaris, yeah, coming out of the landing stage in a pretty good spot, but just a bit lost. I don't know how much of that you can put down to Alone kind of winning the mid lane, maybe Polaris not having the Lush to kind of rally around. The Llama just getting huge. He's even finding the Troll Warlord down here at bottom. Doesn't have any backup.
Dire's middle barracks are
Yeah, this might be a step too far for the Davai Llama here, but whilst that's all happening, they're just running through and trying to take all the melee barracks at once. They've already taken top, they've taken mid, but now I think it's time to get yourselves away. Eve's on the run, and I think they'll be able to get out of this one.
They didn't get a gem back, did they? They got stolen. Yeah, okay. Troll took it back with him.
Yeah.
Spoils of War. So even that 1800 gold swing is not going to be anything in the face of this now 18k lead. If it was hard for them to get out on the map before, with just the constant Naga vision and lanes being shoved in, it's now going to be nigh on impossible with 2 lanes of racks down. So should be Wildcard just securing the Roche. It's just been a Davai Llama show this whole game. Some beautiful initiations.
Really yeah, might have been a step too far to try and go for the troll there, but yeah, I mean, considering what his team were doing to their base at the time, we can forgive him, I think.
He's not that big. He's only got 18 armor with the dunks. Maybe needs a little bit more to man up on the troll. And Polaris trying to punish the fact that the axe is still dead for now, but Wildcard reading this pretty nicely, only going to stick.
Radiant's
can actually
middle tower
afford
is
to be
under
the one
attack.
getting gone on.
It's not gonna hold.
Yeah, and then we go with the... Oh my god, there's so much damage! The Lina, she's almost dead. Eve can't quite finish the job, though. Meanwhile, on the side alone, actually popping the BKB and has a double damage. It starts blasting it into Force. Force pretty tanky, though, on that Undying. Happy to sit to the front line, disassembling the Aeon Disc, because the Ravage comes through as well. Natsumi getting off the ultimate, trying to bring down Eve, and able to do so. Now moves across towards Davai Lama as well. Davai Lama doesn't have a way out right now. They do, actually. The song comes through, holds them back. Wildcard, I mean, Davai Lama's sticking around, almost looking like he's going to go for something here as Alone brings down Savius on the sidelines, and Lelouch finds the entry point onto the axe to bring him down. Natsumi gets on top of Sam. Sammy Boy trying to run to the trees, but I don't think they're going to save him here. Net comes out, but Lelouch takes him out. In comes Alone, though, with that Aghanim's from the Snapfire. Is this a play, though, is the question. They're trying to play around them right now, but Natsumi's pretty damn tanky, especially with that Satanic, so they will just have to back themselves away. A very risky move there from Wildcard, and it's done! Oh no, they catch him out. The rest of Polaris getting on top of him here. The Snapfire trying to do something to help out, but there is nothing to be done for Alone. Polaris just playing on a nice edge. You're able to take this fight.
Cost them 2 buybacks,
Not so
but
radiant anymore.
Song of the Siren resetting the fight just lets Lelouch get back in. Oh, now the Roshan's respawns. Oh, and Polaris are going to be able to claim this. Wow.
Wow, indeed.
Yeah, so
I mean,
the Ursa, he pressed everything thinking he was going to kill the Lina, and then Lina survives on nothing. Ursa's used all of his cooldowns. That was rough. And then this final TP getting canceled by Alone was just the cherry on top from Xavius. The Nyx assassin plays today have been out of control.
they've been ridiculous. Yeah, they've been absolutely ridiculous, and now a huge change of momentum in this game as they've managed to pick up an Aegis and a whole lot of other goodies on the Troll Warlord. He's got an Aegis, he's got a cheese, he's got a Refresher Shard as well. It might be tempting to give this Refresher to the Shard on to the Tidehunter, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Mana situation is not the best. But what's that? 650 plus another 200. So that's yeah, that's your whole mana budget.
All right.
in
No
two
other spells
ravages.
allowed.
Yeah, no shard, no tendrils of the deep, nothing like that. Unless you want to buy some mangoes, but yeah, this could be huge. Ursa probably needing to hold on to the enrage if at all possible. And Wildcard just gonna, they had this game in their hands, just gonna have to clean it up on terms of the teamfight execution.
I don't mean in love.
Yeah. Falling back to what they know, but coming up this hill would be a terrible idea, and they're realizing that. They're staying away. Unless someone really tempting shows themselves, but that's certainly not the Troll with an Aegis, not the target you want to jump. But they will just get this quick kill onto the Nyx Assassin. That might even pop with the BKB just to make sure nothing array goes wrong there.
I mean, I see some TPs going out towards top, so they should just be able to sweep all the way through their jungle now. AU, yeah, okay, you can't stick around for too long, but we'll grab a little bit of farm on the way out. It does really hurt for Wildcard that they lost their gem earlier, so... And they might even, given that they're up against double invis, they might actually be low on their sentry counts now. Yeah, Sam's got a gem queued up in the quick buy, but he still needs 1 minute and 45 to grab that. So unfortunately, they just end up leaving this observer ward up on the high grounds. Could give Polaris an opportunity to just smoke right into that area once they get the respawn going.
And that's the thing about Naga Siren, right? As a Pulse 5, you know, Sammy is still finding farm on the map wherever possible. Not taking it away from his teammates, but just occasionally, you know, going in deep here and killing off the Ancients. And that means he's got himself a...
Yep.
Right now, so...
Yeah, he's got some net worth. He can continue to grow. I don't think we'll see a point where he swaps over to buying any damage items, but still good.
Number one coming on through. Natsumi surviving through it all and healing back up again through the other end of that ultimate. Alex needs to stay away, but Force is just on top of him right now. So find the Shadow Feed on the sideline as well. BKB's out from him, but he can't fight it.
Something about that middle tower.
There was not much fight in you.
Cookie out, Song coming through as well. All three of them set up beautifully for guess who? Davai Lama waiting on the high ground here, ready to jump, but decides against it. Knows that there is another Ravage actually available, so they will wait.
Stressful fight. They just managed to bail out the Ursa. This Ags is doing its job, and Polaris still trouble at home. They do still have to constantly go back and deal with this.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Davai Lama just whiffed the Culling Blades on the Troll Warlord. I don't know if it would have mattered too much because he did still have the Aegis, but now he doesn't have a buyback. This net worth lead's being completely eroded. Finally, they get the gem again. Finally comes off cooldown, so they're now able to deal with some of these high grounds. Wait, did
Haven't been over yet. They just got the gem.
I thought they used it on that hill. Did he just miss the AoE or what?
Yes, so, but oh, this is a bit risky. Davai Lama, he's gonna be careful.
Mega kill!
Beautifully done as they take down one. They'll look towards Alex as well. He'll drop as well. Sammy Boy getting to the high ground. Might escape as Yee's committing hard to this one, but there's a cheese coming out. Yee's getting kind of low as Natsumi chasing him into the base. Battle Trance activated. The kisses are coming through, but doing absolutely nothing. They'll lose Sammy Boy the once. He's going to buy back into this one as the Shadow Fiend respawns and TP's on over. Polaris will back out for now, I'd imagine, but they've done a lot of damage to the side of Wildcard with this.
Bounty!
Deal with it, nomads.
It is just
My poor heart. Polaris making the
really
that was
is.
that Ravage was absolutely sick, but Alex completely playing his heart out to try and save the game here with the gobble ups, the cookies, the force staff. Wildcard just has to.
Alex saving absolutely everyone. Like, my God, there's so many saves coming out from him. The full stuff, the cookie, as you say, it's just. Huge game from Snapfire.
So
Everyone's having a really sick game on both teams. That's why it's such a good game. I think.
It's a sloppy game, but it's a good game. Certainly.
It's exactly what we wanted from the lower bracket of the last chance qualifiers, I think.
And this is only game one. Xavius feeling confident with his Aeon Disc and his gem, but
yeah. Cookie to get himself away. This is one persistent guy, though. Xavius is, yeah, we know what he's like. We've seen a lot of his gameplay across yesterday. Just you can never. He's one of those guys which you never feel comfortable going on because there's a good chance he's completely alone and is just being a lunatic. There's also a good chance he's got an entire team behind him, and you never really know which it is.
He made a nice little play there. He flickered his Aeon Disc into his backpack so that it wouldn't get popped by the Naga illusions. Are starting to see the Shadow Feed now, and if the Troll Warlord gets in on top of him, Natsumi can definitely rip him to shreds. And all of a sudden in the last little bit, Natsumi taking this #1 spot on the net worth.
Yeah,
looking pretty scary. He's even ditched his boots at this point, just has a blink dagger picked up. And probably tanky enough to, he's surviving getting jumped on by the axe. He's got enough health kind of relative to his damage output that he's not just dying immediately. And Tidehunter's managed to farm a refresher orb of his own now.
Oh, he's got the real thing.
Yep. Except no imitations. Well, I guess this game just comes down to the next Roche. There's not a whole lot of buybacks available since Wildcard have been throwing them out just to try and...
I just did the maths, and yeah, there's a reason he's got 3 enchanted mangoes on him at 4 minutes.
Oh yeah, it's actually even worse than the shard, right? Because it's 350 versus 200, so... yeah, the mangoes are going to be important. Hope you don't have to use your Yules.
This man has 1 button bound at the moment. It is the Ravage.
I see the Lina right on top of him.
Yeah, jumping loose right now. He does a simple the Aeon Disc, but is it going to be enough to keep him alive? The Bizzle Blade comes through and they take down the Lina. Ravage comes through. So they're looking for the counter initiation, but the BKB does come out in time for the Ursa, but is it going to matter as Natsumi just taking chunks from him right now? And here comes a song from the Lina. They're going to focus down the Tombstone, and Yeats TPing away from this. They want out of this fight, Wildcard.
The Fight Llama lives. He escaped on the top side of the fight. He got the blink off into the trees, and Xavius, unfortunately, the stun was just a little short. He had the right idea. But they get the Lina buyback without being forced to use anything really other than the song.
Wildcard do need to make their way back over to this part of the map, though, because Roshan is respawning in just 13 seconds.
Look at this again. So he had the Aeon Disc, he disassembles it, he keeps himself out of dunk range. So Axe actually kind of whiffs the cooldown, but the team is just not close enough. So
Yeah, they just came in too slow.
Yeah, and you can watch the Llama just escape off the top of the screen here. Xavius is on him, but deals with the zombies, survives on a sliver of HP, and gets the blink.
Wow, that was so close.
And he doesn't have
everything
buyback.
in this game so close.
So if he's dead, he's not going to be alive for this Roshan fight. Another Andis getting popped. Of course, way up
yeah,
there.
a lot of that are happening, and actually this Undying, he's just gone. No chance of surviving through that one. Xavius looking over towards Sam. Sammy Boy's just on the high ground here. What is Nagasiren?
Yep.
What a chat.
Yeah. Okay, well they deal with both tombstones. There is still a buyback for Force. Sam scouting. He could just cover this with the song if he wanted to, but they might not even need to. It's dropping so damn quickly.
Radiant have carved their
Yep,
names in history.
there it is. Roshan dies. He picks up an Aegis and a refresher shard on alone as well. Ag's also going down, and Xavius running into this one. I'm not sure that's a play, my friend. Full stuff way up to the high ground, but the teddy bear is here, and it mauls him good and proper as the axe comes flying through. Doesn't quite connect. God, I absolutely love how they have no animation when they're in the air when Snapfire fires them, so you just have like a T-posing axe closing the distance on you.
I wish it was a full T-pose and not just like their default stance. That'd be great.
That'd be great.
Okay, well, we took a little detour, but if you stopped watching for 20 minutes, you might think that we're still just exactly where we were with Wildcard in control of this game.
Dire structures.
Yeah, here we go. Once again, shredding the buildings. Buyback comes out from the next assassin. You know what? Wildcard respect it. They'll get themselves off the high ground, but are they giving up the siege altogether? I'm not sure about that. They do need the creep wave though, which is pretty far away from them.
Right, more save for Alex. He's got an E-Blade picked up. The double ravage is off cooldown for AU. He was just waiting for the refresher orb. He's ditched the mango plan and now he's going for a null talisman. That might be good enough. That's 6. Yeah, okay. It looks like it. It looks like it's okay.
Yeah, just about. Could afford to cast an Ankh Smash or something as well. Maybe a Gush if he's feeling fruity. But certainly not both. One or the other. Nyx Assassin going for this right now. Oh my god, they actually catch out the Troll Ward who's just he's trying to help out. Refresh run from Davai Lama as well. They take down Natsumi. He does have a buyback here, but is it gonna matter? Force, he's gonna be the... But that is going to do nothing to keep him alive. Buyback as well from the Undying, but Polaris, they have to be running low on resources by now. Are you waiting by the sidelines here?
One ravage is off. Thank God.
Have fallen.
Feels like it's not enough. Mega creeps have been gained, and now Wildcard looking for the win. They'll throw in a creep.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Goes down. On the sidelines, Loach, he's on top of him. There comes the Eldis though, keeping him alive as she's kind of fighting into Force here. Force, another Eldis coming out, but they get the call out onto the Lina. Lina dead, no buyback. They'll move across now to AU as well. Natsumi trying to fight up into Alone. They're going to actually turn Yagra across to Davai Lama as another call comes through. Natsumi will lose his second life, and that will be it. GG gets called, and Wildcard take game number 1 in this lower bracket best of 3 series against Polaris.
The pause 5 Naga Siren, the axe just making the game impossible for these squishy cores on Polaris. Okay, Wildcard, you know, they're going to discuss the game.
5
a
seconds
last
remaining.
chance qualifier lower bracket match would be. Let's see if game number 2 can follow suit. Any expectations coming into this one, Basket?
You know what? I've just given up on any preconceived notions at this point.
That's wise.
I'm just along for the ride and do my best to explain
Radiant team
all the
back.
twists and turns.
Yeah, we had a lot of mind games in game number 1. You know, this Naga Siren pickup being a pos 5, answered by the Tide Hunter, which we thought was an offlaner,
Oh, it's
giving
Marcy.
wildcard maybe the illusion. Oh, yeah.
Radiant
Looks like
team pick.
Marcy gets through the draft.
Can't say no to a
Radiant
Marcy.
team pick.
It's impossible. That hero just gives you way too much. It does mean the Polaris get their Undying again, but didn't really have much game impact last game, to be fair.
Dire team pick.
Yeah, it wasn't absolutely huge. I think they just need maybe a little bit more lockdown to go along with it. So still feeling confident in the opening here. You know, we've said how varied the drafts have been from Polaris, but feeling confident going for the run back at least thus far. I do worry a little bit about, you know, there's already this Marcy, so there's already some ganking potential and a hero to get on top of the Lina. We've seen how scary even just a support Marcy can be for some of these squishier cores. And I was wondering if Wildcard might consider going for like their Visage or something like that, but just gonna go for the Morphling.
Sure, why not? Very nice combo with a Marcy. They do each other a lot of favors, especially the sidekick early on to heal you up when you're full agi. Very, very efficient.
10 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
definitely nice. They have some pretty straightforward Roshan
5
here without really
seconds
having to
remaining.
commit too many picks to it. It's kind of incidental that they've got this sort of free Rosh.
Radiant team
Just trying to have a quick look at who's actually played the Marcy for them. I think it might only be Alex. It was a huge part of their regional run. Played 7 games of it. I think he's only managed to get it once here in the last chance qualifiers, but that was a win. So probably just expecting to see the pause 4 and wildcard being in this this first pick position are going to be able to get rid of the AA after snagging the morph. For anybody out there who's curious, so
5
it
seconds
was
remaining.
Polaris's priority this game, I believe, and they chose second pick, and wildcard took Dire.
Right.
I'm always the guy in the out there watching the stream, be like, "Well, what was the coin flip? What was the pick priority?" So, to the 1% of people that are interested, that's how it went down.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth in there, but we don't have the time of day. And we'd also probably lose like half the people watching if we decided
Yeah,
to.
no, this is just
If you got into that, so no base skip. You're not allowed to talk about
Puddle
that. Let's talk
cast
about
only.
slime pick instead.
It's burst against the Morphling.
5
In theory,
seconds
it's
remaining.
some lockdown as well. This hero has, I thought it was pretty dead in terms of pub stats. It's been
Dire
one of
team
the
pick.
absolute worst supports, but kind of coming back a little bit here in the last chance qualifiers could be okay. I guess we'll just have to see. I think a lot of it comes back to Polaris just identifying like the thing that we really didn't like about our draft last game was we didn't
10
have
seconds
somebody
remaining.
to start these fights easily. We were relying
5 seconds remaining.
on that with a blink hex or blink earth spike.
Radiant team
Yeah,
pick.
definitely. I said it last time, say it again. Having a bit of throwaway initiation seems to be such a bonus at the moment in all of these games. Just having someone who can go in, get some stuns off. Maybe you miss them. Maybe that person dies. Who cares? It's a lion.
Man, I'm shocked that they managed to get the Visage all the
10
way
seconds
into
remaining.
second phase when they've already got the Marcy. We've seen this combo look
5 seconds
pretty
remaining.
crazy. Certainly gives them a lot of push potential, a lot of Roche. Wildcard seem pretty they seem pretty happy about it. They're like, yeah, sure, we'll take the Visage if you'll let us have it this late. And Polaris, what do they feel addresses both the Morphling and the Visage in terms of these carry matchups? Go.
Ooh.
As well here, like just kind of they're not great at dealing with the illusions on wildcard. That the Naga versus Morphling, I think they just kind of play past each other. It's not really that one of them is like a super strong counter to the other, but the matchup is certainly for the Naga. I think the win edge is slightly in her favor, and it is something that Natsumi plays, I believe. So certainly an option, but if they want it, maybe they have to take it now.
Yeah, also a possibility to just go back for the Terrorblade as well, something which probably the closest thing you get to a consistent pick for the side of Polaris is the Terrorblade.
Yeah, I'm just looking at what else they've been playing, right? We've had some Natsumi Pudge, but that's been banned. Bloodseeker doesn't look great. Yeah, of the things that he's played, to me, the Naga stands out. Maybe the Nature's Prophet, if they feel like there's some way to play this one super fast. But then you are kind of putting yourself in this position again where your two big cores are just, squishy, and they're just gonna potentially get jumped on as they go back for the Tide again. And kind of the same situation here where it's, I guess, a flex.
Yeah. I'm not sure I'm in love with it.
Yeah, I don't know that I like the Tidehunter that much here. Wildcard are again gonna have some of these like escapes and saves, ways to kind of kite around the team fight a little bit. I get the idea of like parking your watermelon in front of this Visage, trying to push your towers and slowing things down. Wildcard don't have a reliable way to kill him without him getting off the Ravage, but is that going to matter? They're going to have a meaningfully good matchup against the Morphling and the Visage for that kind of delaying the game and playing for team fight to matter, it feels like here.
Yeah, you're asking a lot from this final pick for Polaris here, I feel like.
Yeah, they do have the last overall pick of the draft. I don't know what else is on the card. So the Drow we've been as like a
Natsumi knows there's something wrong here.
Yeah, he's really confusing Natsumi with this. It's like, oh god, it's warded, and it's still warded here, and it's still warded
And there's
here.
a ward up here.
Yeah.
Well, I don't need to think about any of this. I'm just gonna get some creeps. That's too confusing. But no, I'm sure they've pieced it together. That's why Xavier's sticking around. And Zeus will return forlornly to the middle lane. Alas, 'twas not a kill. And top lane, Eve's kind of forcing the tower. It's tier 1 tower in the top lane. It's taken a ton of damage from the Tidehunter.
Yeah, Force is #1 on net worth, and he's gonna get this by himself eventually. Lelouch even rotating up to help out. They do have the level 6 on Sam, and he's just gonna unleash.
He's going for it right now. Lelouch taking some heavy hits, turns around to get up a couple of spells, but they'll be able to bring him down. Yves catches him out with the Adaptive Strike, and now starts unleashing onto Force. Ravage is there, though, on top of Alone, and with the stuns they've got available, they will be able to bring down this Zeus, so he's just going to back away. Not much he can do now as the Tidehunter returns.
Struggle a little bit against the Zeus.
Absolute
that was
over this top side of the map. No one's going to contest him for that.
And this is what I was talking about. The Tidehunter's in the position where he can now just TP down bottom and be the guardian of this tier 1 tower. And not going to be easy for Wildcard to punch through this. Like 3 points Kraken Shell. Tidehunter does not care about your birds. You can take them somewhere else. Come back when you're level 12.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yep, needs some more bird power and needs some more points in the sidekick as well to really buff them up and make them a threat. But of course, you want the rebound first. That spell's just too damn good to ignore.
So one thing we haven't talked about, and I guess we haven't even really seen just yet from Lelouch, is whether he's going to consider going for the magic build this game. It's been pretty popular against the Morphling, especially. He's a bit non-committal so far. He's just got a Falcon Blade and he's going for a BKB, so could still go either way as the game progresses. Maybe seeing how his Slark's timings are progressing. Trying to line things up with Natsumi, who's just going for a defusal.
Yep, makes sense. Always nice to try and align your timings. But yeah, I think this is, I mean, this is what we see a lot of from Lena's, right? Going for the BKB as the very early pickup.
I do think that they could go toe-to-toe with Wildcard in the late game here, but I also don't know if that's Polaris' style. I think they'd prefer to just be the ones actively controlling the map, actively taking the team fights, and so we will start to see them grouping up probably sooner rather than later, especially with the level of farm that Force is getting. You already got a Blink Dagger. It feels like it's been a very long laning stage. It feels like the lanes are still going 13 minutes into this one.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. You know, last game I asked you at what point in the game we're going to start to see them moving around, what timings we're waiting for, but it honestly feels like Lena's waiting for a BKB before she really makes many moves on the map. She doesn't want to end up getting jumped and brought down too quickly by the Marcy. It's such a threat of a hero.
Yeah, I mean, Alex was able to just get the Undying to pop his Tombstone and his ulti, and then just hopped on out of there. Did trade it for the Unleash, but he's drawing attention towards top while the rest of his team is off farming. Though this is like about the best position that they can get on the map. Again, how do you ever unseat?
Yeah, having a great time. Just being sticky, being annoying, and slowing down the game a ridiculous amount. So Wildcard not really getting in line, but at the same time, you know, they're kind of fine with that as well. It is going to be a while before we see them make a move. So in the top lane, Alex able to get the jump away from the Slark. Doesn't quite connect with that pounce. So Alex will be all right.
Yeah, I don't think Davai Lama is that unhappy about sitting here farming across from the Tide. He would be unhappy about getting hit by this smoke gank, but he has kind of randomly avoided it. Maybe not.
No, unfortunately not. Xavius and Loach right on top of him. Laguna Blade coming on down, and the right click will finish the job. And that'll be Loach getting himself another kill here on the Lina.
Sam's got another ultimate that he's keen to use. Maybe they can kill the Tide with Zeus damage and like a full Mortimer Kisses, but
yeah. Davai Lama might be dead, but his birds can still do a lot of stunning for him. Probably not the Tide Hunter though.
It's farm stations for both teams currently. We're chilling. Maybe the stalemate will break once the BKB comes out on the Lina or something. But
yeah. Well, Natsumi's gone for the Diffusal Blade, then into the Aghanim, so that's going to give him the flexibility when it comes to these fights, getting in deep and then getting out again. Very, very powerful Ags, in my opinion.
This is why you don't let your cores place wards. So Natsumi just put that one right on top of a existing sentry, so that one got dealt with pretty easily. He wanted to put a ward down for himself to to keep on playing on this top side, since his team does not have any plans on coming and joining him up here for a bit.
No. Ooh. But they managed to get the pick off there onto Xavius down in the bottom lane, but Natsumi trying to get a bit of revenge here and moving on to Davai Lama. No help coming in for Davai, but also not really under much threat at all, to be honest. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, a bit of a siege coming out from Polaris. They've dropped the Tombstone even to make sure they get this tower, and again, Wildcard just don't really feel like they can contest it. A very, very passive game from Wildcard this time around.
There's not a whole lot that they can do. Even the Slark is strong enough to just hold off bottom currently, so Polaris getting that for free. Davai even lost one of his birds, so he's now got another 90 seconds to wait before he gets the second one up. And he might not even want to use it right away, because he's getting pretty close to level 12, and you do have to resummon the birds to get the updated stats.
Xavius jumping in, using that Tumbler's Toy to close in the gap. Natsumi on top of him as well. Force coming over from round the back. Everyone suddenly here onto this position. No help coming his way. He is just dead.
They're trying to top. Get a little bit of a jump, but the Lina's waiting there.
She's going to be able to at least get them one return. No,
the smoke. He popped the smoke and disjointed the tower shot that saved him.
All right. Okay,
It's expensive,
Alex.
but sure, go for it.
Are fortified.
Yeah, values his life very highly. Respect it. You're a king.
That was nice. Okay, well, they suspected that that might happen, but they didn't get the turnaround, unfortunately. All right, back to farm stations. Everybody chill out.
All right, let's look at some more items. Does he have his next bird? No, he doesn't. Still running around mono-birded. It's very embarrassing. I'd rather have no birds than one bird. Just looks silly when you've already got one bird. A bit of stuff been thrown
He's got one
online
frog
here.
now. How about that?
All right, that'll do. That'll do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he really just wants to get the level 12 before he hits the resummon. We got a pipe on the Tidehunter as well. Surely we have to be approaching some kind of go time. Maybe you want the Ags on the Slark. That does tend to be the timing when we start seeing the Slarks actually getting active and get in and then get back out of the team fight.
Dire are scanning.
Yeah, for sure. That's a big time for him. The Tidehunter as well. He's got the Blink Dagger in the pipe, so he's ready to go. Wants to join this engagement. Sammy Boy has been seen, as has ready to go as well. Should he want to use it? In it comes. Both heroes locked down as they'll move their attention towards the Visage, and Davai Lama will get dropped. Finger comes through, and now they look towards Sammy as well. Cookie comes through, but it's not going to be enough to save him. Caught by the stun, and the damage is there from the Tide. Natsumi grabs that kill.
Is under attack.
Well, they might at least get an objective trade. No, Lelouch is still going to be able to hold on to mid. Polaris being really clinical with these rotations. Just they're not giving up an inch on the map. Wildcard's lineup's a little bit too greedy for them to get away with some of this. The Morphling has farmed his way back into the #1 spot on the net worth, so Eve's once again making sticking the landing, making the recovery.
Yeah, for sure. Like I don't think the game is looking not great for Wildcard, but not awful either. Like this can still go to plan.
Yeah.
Provided, I mean, Davai Lama just
Natsumi?
needs to. This is bad. This is really bad. Alone, catching him out. Well, actually, I think it was Sammy catching him out there, right?
Yeah, Sam tried to cookie on top of him. He managed to pounce that, and then after that, he just got popped by all the spells.
Oh, hey, Force. How's it going, buddy? This Titan can pretty much just walk anywhere he feels like walking on the map at the moment, so.
Double
Yeah.
damage.
We are
As you
seeing a
see
bit
here.
of why Polaris were willing to leave this Visage so late
Radiant's bottom tower
in the
is under
draft.
attack.
It does feel like they've dealt with it pretty effectively.
Yeah, it does.
Wildcard haven't really been able to. It hasn't been the heart and soul of the draft, right? Davai Lama's just gonna have to do what he can, and it's about Alone and Eves now.
Yeah. And to be fair, they kind of just ditched Davai Lama very early on. Alex went to help out mid and just kind of mostly sat at mid for most of the game, the laning phase. So Davai Lama not having much of a start to the game, but Polaris now inside the pit. Wildcard, is there anything they can do about this? Is there anything they want to do about this? I don't think so.
This is the exact play that got them into trouble in the previous game, but it's a very different set of circumstances this time around. There's no Davai Lama axe or anything like that.
Yes.
So
That's pretty crucial.
yeah, we have had the question answered about what the build is going to be for the Lina. It does look like he's still just planning on going for a predominantly right-click focused build. So I think Morphling going to be happier about that. Doesn't have to worry so much about just getting absolutely demolished by the spell damage. And Eve's no BKB just yet is actually trying to pick up the Ags first, so try and grab onto that Slark form in the fights and maybe go looking for the supports in the backline, something like that.
Yeah, very valuable to steal that Slark form and apply the debuffs to him.
Yeah, apply the debuff. You don't necessarily want to go fighting the Slark himself, but just kind of play like him in the back of the fight. Ooh, Xavius, you got a blink. Yeah, he's fine.
Ooh, Sani
He's fine.
got his smoke popped. That's unfortunate. Alone sees Natsumi, but Natsumi leaping away with that Aghanims and getting himself to safety. The gank unfortunately failing for the side of Wildcard as Polaris still holding on to that middle tier 1 tower.
Very slow, very methodical. Polaris, it's
Yep.
got to be in the back of their minds that, that any mistakes here, that's going to be the end of their last chance qualifier run. So, no reason to do anything too risky. Yes, they're kind of pincering here at bottom. Might just be Alex going down.
Actually moving into the triangle here, so not moving in Alex's direction. In fact, moving in towards no one's direction, really. Maybe they can connect with mid where Eves is, but Eves is kind of directly moving away from them at the moment, so definitely not going to connect with this smoke. But still, vision placed down. A very nice deep ward placed there by E if you see it next to the tier 2 tower in the middle lane, suggesting that is going to be the next objective.
Yeah, Wildcard seemed to have some kind of idea that there might be something here playing on this side. Gotta be careful though.
Xavier's very annoying. Alex jumping in, but the blink away.
He's got a
Get him
BKB,
out.
so he can't afford to be a little bit crazier, though could end up being punished by this blink on the line, which they have seen, so they at least know what they're dealing with on that front. And I think we got both of our Ags up,
Radiant's middle
so
tower is under attack.
maybe the carries are looking to fight now. I think Natsumi's seen the Ags, so he's also just going to be going for a Linken's. I think we saw this in the VP Extreme series as well, and on the one hand I get it, on the other hand you're playing against Soul Assumption, Arc Lightning, like Adaptive Strike.
Yeah.
Is this really going to do for you what you
Is it
hoped?
is it worth 4,200 gold basically? Is that how much it costs at the moment? 4,600 gold, yeah. Is it worth that much to block maybe one Soul Assumption,
Yeah, and
Probably not.
most of the stuns are AoE as well, right? It's
Yeah.
it's rebound, it's familiar stuns, it's the cookie. I don't know that he's truly safe in the Shadow Dance. He's playing as if he is, but I don't know if this is the item. We'll see. He hasn't bought anything just yet. Could still end up changing his mind.
Yeah, I'd quite like to see a Mage Slayer, honestly, or something like that. Just get on top of the Zeus in the back lines and try and punish that. As Alex does jump in on this one, popping the BKB. They want to try and take down Force, or at least force a Ravage out of him. Alex moving up to the high underground and seeing everybody here and think, oh, maybe I don't want to be here anymore. Tries to run away as Alex comes out onto Sammy Boy. Sammy Boy getting beaten down by Natsumi. That'll be the first blood of this fight. Wildcard getting themselves back. They don't really want to take this fight to Polaris too harshly. Polaris have already taken down their Pos 5, and I think they might just have to give up the tier 2 tower in the end. Davai Lama trying to get a bit of counter push going. Oh, Natsumi finding another kill here. Alex in the wrong neighborhood.
Yeah, they are making this a trade in the meantime, but Natsumi's trying to come down and punish Davai Lama.
Yeah, he's going to find him. DP out. Will have the pounce though, so he's able to cancel that one with ease. And now with Davies coming across as well, Davai Lama is going to fall. Natsumi just chaining up 3 kills in a row here.
They're not even backing off at mid. There's only 2 heroes alive.
Ravage coming down, Luge getting on top of the Morphing. Morphing doesn't have the strength morph going, he's gone as well. Polaris turning up the heat here in game number 2, and Wildcard are just not ready for it.
Man, it looked okay. It's like, oh, we only lost the Snapfire in that little engagement that we went for previously, and then it's another pick, and it's another pick. And it's another 2 more picks, and suddenly Polaris just completely in control of the map. Alone doing good damage.
Alone.
He's gonna kill
Oh no,
Lelouch.
he's able to
Okay.
find Lelouch. What? Where was your BKB? Where's the Aegis? Well, he had so much to survive through that. Middle lane, Snapfire trying to get away from Natsumi. Natsumi's going to be able to bring him down, or at least Xavier's getting the kill. Alone's nearby, though, looking for the opportunity to get in on this, but it's kind of difficult at the time. So the Aegis had just run out. But
Yeah, it was just getting reclaimed at that exact moment, and Alone just jammed that kill.
Why no BKB? I'm very confused. But alas.
Yeah, I guess he thought that he could just scooch away in the under invis, but
Just gonna scooch on out of here if that's alright with you guys. Alone trying to get this kill onto the line. Not sure this is worth it though. He's very
team's
low
coming.
mana on the Zeus. Alright. Wildcard bringing in the cavalry, but Forces being the one broken down here. As Alex pops a BKB once again to try and take down this Tidehunter, and they'll be able to do exactly that. So pretty big target brought down, honestly. Wildcard, they're the ones able to get a couple of pickoffs now.
And I thought alone with the build that he was going, that like an Ags or whatever the next item was going to be insanely slow, but he's now just gotten 2 massive core kills back to back, and suddenly he has 3,000 gold. So, to me, in that other series where we talked about the Zeus versus the Slark, that the Ags was absolutely instrumental. So
Yes, it really was. And he got almost 1,000 gold for killing a Loach, by the way. Didn't touch on that, but that is ridiculous.
Well, this whole series does feel like it's been a little bit 1 step forward, 2 steps back for the winning team in each case, and still anyone's game. Really, does not feel like there's a super significant advantage one way or the other. The fights are super volatile, as we've seen. Whoever gets the jump is really going to be all important. And Sam, to that end, again, going to be picking up a gem, just try and keep control of the high grounds, get the D wards. A couple of stray observer wards surviving did almost cost them that previous game.
Yeah, it's there's been a little bit of allowing some vision to happen when it shouldn't be. Yeah. It's a bit risky.
Yeah, a little bit.
Wild card. Oh, they see Force here. They'll throw the Ethereal Blade on him straight away, but Natsumi trying to get on top of the Zeus. Zeus needs to get away from the Slark and will be able to do so. In fact, he's popped the Shadow Dance very, very early here. I'm wondering if they can follow up from this. There comes the Ravage on the front lines, but not really connecting onto many heroes here as Xavier's will go down. Force as well going to fall as Yves getting on top of Lelouch here, but Natsumi's on top of him. 2 cores on 1. How does this work out for you? You need your Zeus and you need it fast, and he'll come from the side and take out Lelouch. Now they'll go towards Natsumi as well. Natsumi backing himself away, wants to give himself a chance to regen, then come back in on this one, but Ayu might be dead by the time that happens. Will he be able to keep himself alive? There will be a soul rip, but with the soul assumptions and the damage from the Zeus, they will bring him down. But Natsumi jumping in on this, he's got to be careful. He'll blink himself back up to the high ground, pounce away, and wildcard, they get the advantage in this fight once again.
Natsumi just can't stand and hit. Yeah, used both pounces to get in, and the Force Staff came out from Sam, kept Alone alive, and once you press the BKBs and the Zeus hasn't died, the team fight's going to get very, very difficult at the other end. This is Xavier's buying back into the game as well.
Yeah, hasn't really gotten much done with this. They're actually pouncing away from Roshan and now pasting back out alone. Is this the play you want to make, my friend? It's certainly not. He's got the Aeon Disc and he's going to assemble it, try and get away from Natsumi. Natsumi giving a real hard chase right now. Davai Lama even going with the blocks. Wow, that was pretty impressive for him to block a Shadow Dance Slark, who then bounces himself away. There's some high octane shit coming out from Natsumi.
Yeah, so Alone, after the way that previous fight went, just deciding that he absolutely had to pick up the Aeon Disc instead of trying to grab the Ags. Worked out perfectly for him there. He was about to be one more permanent Agi for the Slark. I still want to harp on the Lincolns a little bit. I don't know if it's doing a whole heck of a lot. What's he gone for next? Just the Basher? Oh no, he's just got the Shard. Okay.
Yeah, get that nice little depth drought.
Getting a little afraid of this Marcy. There was a moment there in that last fight, Alex jumped in on top of the Tide and then suddenly saw the Lina in his sights, and there was a little string of punches, and Lina suddenly lost a third of her HP. And once he gets the Basher, the Lina might not make it away so easily next time.
I'm loving the way Natsumi's playing this Slark, even though it's a bit haphazard, it's a bit dangerous, but it's very, very enjoyable to watch Lelouch quick on the BKB. They're punishing Alex for the jump in. Won't be able to get the kill though, so to be fair, pretty nice for Alex there to just jump in, get a free BKB and get himself out again.
Yeah, that's really good. And Wildcard just getting more and more tools to deal with this Slark as the game goes on. Davai Lama's got his Shard, so he can kind of buy some time for his team to bail him out. Alone, as we've seen, with the Aeon Disc. And Xavier's is just up here all by himself. lock him down for a second, but he's dead.
Yeah, he's not gonna last. Davai Lama thinks he's gonna sweep in and steal the kill with Soul Assumption, but that's not gonna happen. Zeus taking it for himself. So, hey, what are Polaris waiting for then? What is their time to go and fight? Do they just want to wait for the Aegis to be out completely before they take a fight on their terms?
Yeah, maybe Aegis is out, and I don't know. Maybe you have to farm still a BKB on the Slark. The BKB also doesn't solve the problem of actually sticking to these targets, which seems to be where they're really having issues. Maybe Force with the Shivas is going to change that a little bit, but it almost feels like he needs a nullifier.
Yeah, I see what you mean about that.
Yeah, just for the Aeon Disc and the Force Staffs.
Exactly.
But
it does give you decent damage as well, to be fair.
yeah, it just feels like this Linked Sphere has just completely killed his item progression. Like, I really don't know. I know I put the Ags on the Zeus, and Wildcard with 2 minutes on the Aegis, so looking towards the high ground.
Yes, he has gone off the Strength Morph here, but this might be the Aegis just gone. Let's see if he can get away. There is a cookie coming out and a waveform up to the high ground. He's just going to be okay.
I can't deal with the voice line.
Are scanning.
It's too much. It's too powerful.
It's a lot. It's a lot. We consider ourselves professionals, adults, but
Yeah,
everyone has a limit.
Everyone was talking about the caster voice lines, but nobody was looking at the team
The
bundles.
wildcard voice line.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the moment this cast is over, I'm buying it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy
yeah,
10 and send them to all my friends.
Yeah.
Are scanning.
They got the tail end of a double damage on this Lina, but I don't think the Polaris have this Aegis timed properly because there's still a minute remaining.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure they're that worried about Aegis time. I think they just want to go and fire, but they're actually initiating onto the Morphling, so they want to take down his first life, and they will be able to do so. So, life on the Morphling gone. They didn't have to commit Ravage for it either, but they might not get a chance to. There's a lot of damage coming towards him. Does get off the Ravage, but dies immediately afterwards, along with Natsumi. That is a huge cost to pay. Now they'll look for more. They'll move across to AU as well. The stun from the line will miss, and they will take down another Polaris, just getting way too ambitious with that play.
But it looked really great to start, right? They get the Aegis without having to use the Ravage. They're hanging around like, oh boy, we still got Depth Shroud. We still got Shadow Dance. Slark's fine. And he just got obliterated. Desperately, I don't want to harp on it too much, but desperately wishing that he had a BKB. Just look at this. He gets E-bladed.
Surely.
Yeah, so here comes the Chainstorm from the birds. E-blade, locked down, and then just dies in the end to the Mortimer Kisses.
Yep. Sammy boy getting the double kill.
Sammy making Wildcard making the Snapfire look amazing.
Yeah,
this series.
they've had some serious success with it in these two games. Oh my god, Eves, that's aggressive. Does get caught out by the LSA, but there's going to be a cookie to get it back. And yeah, I mean, I guess when you're Claws of Maniacs, the cookie feels like a really good spell.
it's very value having this Force Staff and having this Fire Snap cookie.
But Sammy, I've gone in too deep again. Yeah, okay.
Oopsie.
Alright, so Aegis is now gone on Wildcard. It has finally timed out, so I imagine we'll see Polaris try and make something happen, but I don't know, Natsumi might just want to farm up a BKB at this point. It just feels impossible for him to play the game.
Yeah, I think that last fight has shown him pretty clearly where his priorities need to be. He's got a little bit of time. The Roshan respawn is still at minimum 2 minutes away, so they've got that time. They really need a gem. Xavius realizing it as well. He's got it queued up on the quick buy right now. So, okay, they grab it. Maybe they can start getting a little bit of this ward vision game back. They shouldn't, in theory, they shouldn't be struggling with having the Slark to give them the information, but it's not like it's not long-standing wards that are doing it for a wild card, right? They're just putting down the opportunistic ward in the middle of the team fight and seeing what they need to see.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And I wanted to talk about it earlier, but we didn't have a second. But I think some of this is seeing the weakness of the Tidehunter in some ways. Like, he can't take over a game by himself. Force was
No,
number
no,
one in the
no.
net worth. He was absolutely huge, and it just amounted to flip up.
Natsumi jumping onto everyone right here. He's got this brand new BKB, which he's keen to show off, but he's still being kited. Can't lock anyone down. Kiss is coming over the top as well. They're on top of the loot. They've got so much damage to throw into him. Alex and Yves tear him apart, move across towards the Tide Hunter as well. Natsumi still just bouncing around the back lines of the fight like a ping pong ball, but unfortunately, he's doing about as much damage as a ping pong ball, so he's just going to teep himself away. It's another fight for Wildcard going exactly how they want it to.
The Lina just dies to Marcy. I mean, there was a couple of auto attacks there from the Morphling as well, but for all of Lelouch's net worth and for all of his success on this hero, Wildcard absolutely have his number, and now they're heading up onto the high ground.
There's just not enough control. The fights aren't lasting long enough for the Slark to be able to get off any of this damage. Like, he's got the items, but he just cannot help, and oh dear.
Yeah, well, I don't think they can really do anything. They're absolutely cleaning this up. Alone is even sitting here on the front lines, hitting the buildings. We have been in this situation once before. The previous game for Wildcard. So hopefully they are having a little discussion about, okay, what did we goof up last time? Let's make sure that that doesn't happen again. Let's just stay together.
Yeah.
Secure the Aegis.
I'd like to get a look back on that last fight actually and see. Because I mean, the Slark pounces in and then pops the BKB in. Oh, actually, he's managed to get on top of Davai Lama here. He's got a BKB charge available. Going to use a Depth Shroud for now, just to keep on catching a couple of stacks. He's got 11 for now, but will bounce himself away. And he's got that more fragility drain on him as well, which is very annoying as well. So
Yeah, he's just going to be all over the place. They will at least have the Ravage back off cooldown by the time Roshan respawns. But yeah, that last fight, Slark jumped in, he popped BKB, he got kited, he pressed the outpost for a second.
oh, okay, that's interesting.
I mean, it wasn't really a big deal.
Here we go.
Yeah, so he jumped in, you know, jump away. Dispose is kind of weird. He popped BKB, tried to cap the outpost. tried to hit the Wraith Pact a little bit.
Yeah.
Puts the Depth Shroud down. It wasn't on top of his Lina. He pops the Aeon Disc. It's just... Yeah, he's just bouncing around from target to target and not really being able to latch in on top of anyone.
And as tradition, we have a little look at Davai Lama afterwards, just because he's got such a lovely face. Why not? You know.
He's got a face for Dota, whatever that means.
Whatever that means. Doesn't sound like a nice thing, but 15k gold advantage for the side of Wildcard right now. They are very, very close to throwing Polaris out of the TI-11 Last Chance qualifiers, which I would consider an upset. I think Polaris are
yeah, absolutely.
very good team.
Yeah, Polaris have looked great. You know, Wildcard, we talked them up in our long fill beforehand, but I think the conclusion for most people would have been, look, this could go either way, but probably Polaris favored. You know, maybe a Polaris 2-1. And we are staring down the barrel of a Wildcard 2-0. Yeah,
I mean, this next rush could decide everything, but there's just I have no confidence that Natsumi's going to be able to get up his damage in the fight. Since the Lion's just going to get taken over, trying to go for a bit of a warding adventure. Gets punished for it, and Yves in the pit immediately.
All right. They've got a couple of buybacks.
Yeah, we'll be using the Lion as Natsumi. Coming and poking a little bit, seeing what there is to see. Polaris, what can you do? What can you pull off? When their backs are against the wall, that is often when they're strongest, but it's a big ask right now, and this Roshan is nearly gone already, and they're just making sure that no one's going to interrupt it. Force coming on over, but it's not going to be soon enough. Aegis into the hands of Yves now, and now they'll look forward for more as they get on top of AU. He's going to full force forced up the high ground, but they're just keeping on chasing. Wildcard showing no signs of giving up as Yves taking the Lion's form to try and bring him down as Alex gets on top of the Tide Hunter and takes him out of the game. 2 heroes dead with buyback, but Wildcard are mounting the offensive right now. All they really need to do is cut one wave at top, and their lanes will be in absolutely great position.
Who's getting the Egg's Blessing? It's still in Eve's back. Oh, Xavius on the high ground.
Yep, they'll throw in Alone, and he's able to finish off the job. Thank you very much, Sammy boy. They move over towards Loach. Ooh, don't quite connect with the stun there.
Natsumi can't even kill Alex. He was chasing around the Marcy in the back lines. Didn't get it.
Loach. With the Satanic, with the Silver Edge, with the BKB, still unable to get off the damage. And get off the kills. They jump in with the Ravage. They're trying to find Alone, but he's got the Aeon Disc, so he's just able to jump himself away. Natsumi still staying on top of him for now. Popping the BKB as well as he tries to bring down the Zeus. Alone, he is getting very, very low, but Natsumi is going to be able to finish the job, and he will get the kill. Now moving across for more. Eves stealing the Slark form, pouncing himself away, but has got the Aegis to work with, but really doesn't want to use it like this. He's going to get himself into the river and get himself out. It is a successful defense from the side of Polaris. They find the Zeus for the first time in a long time.
I don't know if Wildcard need to spend any buybacks or anything here. I think they can just chill. There's only one Rax remaining. They did manage to get the melee. They've still got the Aegis for 3.5 minutes. It was a nice little passover of the Aghanims during that push to give the Visage the Silent as the Grave. So that made it pretty easy for Devilama to get out. But I see no reason not to just wait for Zeus to respawn, but as I say this, Wildcard are just gonna go, and the Ravage is on cooldown.
Yeah, I
maybe
guess
they can just punish here.
You see the replay with Natsumi literally just zeroing on Alone, just trying to take him down, but live they have managed to find Lelouch, and this is a huge kill. The basher out from Alex, just keeping him locked down, doesn't get a chance to use a single spell, BKB or anything. Lelouch is just taken off the face of the earth. Xavius? Well, they're actually jumping the backlines here. They want to try and take down Signpoint. They'll be able to do exactly that, but the chain stun's coming out onto both Paws and Natsumi as he's trying to fight up into the Tide Hunter. Tide gonna get taken down as well. He gets a kill. Natsumi in the backlines trying to bring down the Visage. He has a lot of damage and will be able to get that one. Now moving over towards a Morphling. He's got a lot of stacks. My boy's up to 42 agility right now. Sorry, 42 essence shift, which is 180 agility. He can't fight this anymore. He needs to leave. But in comes the Zeus. Oh my god! Oh my god! It's the Slug! It gets evaporated from the face of the earth!
Oh, he's not going to make it out either.
Oh no, this might be it. Polaris. They'll lose another 4 heroes dead. Base wide open. The red carpet laid out for Wildcard to finish this one off.
Man, absolutely a glimmer of hope there with the Slark getting all the stacks, but Alone just slams the door shut in their face. Great play from Eves as well, getting the jump away. Devilama's going ham again. He's feeling it.
Yep, look at this. Eves taking down the barracks, getting the megas, and now they will just look to take down those tier 4s. Making an offering of power treads as well. Oh,
actually,
he wants them to deny him, so he gets the buyback, right?
Yeah,
no,
yeah, you shouldn't interact with those items. Don't do it.
It's a trap. Well, he's taking some heavy hits right now, but does have the Aegis, of course, so isn't really worried. Polaris, what can they do? I mean, they do have a Lina and a Lion. Definitely a worse combo to be stuck trying to defend here, but as Lina has no BKB, it might be pretty difficult to survive through the Zeus. Zeus is just going to take them both out Alone. He closes the door, and that's going to be it. GG gets called, and Wildcard get the 2-0 over Polaris. 4-esque, says Devilama.
Dang. GG, no airport.
Wow,
oh my god.
Wow.
Look at them. Do they even believe it? They're just... Alright. There's some hugs. They're moving on. Wow.
They are indeed. Yeah, still a long, long way to go for this wildcard team, but what a step forward from them. At least a American team makes it out from the lower bracket first round, but yeah, this team was not the one we would have expected. Out of all 4 teams, you know, coming into it, I think Wildcard might have been considered, you know, one of the weakest, but they've just turned those expectations around. They've turned it into their power, the power of the underdog, and they'll take out Polaris, who were previously in the upper bracket this morning, and how hard they have fallen.
Yeah, now they find themselves among the 4 teams eliminated here today from the last chance qualifiers. Wildcard looking so composed during their matches. Both games they started out with a fairly significant disadvantage. The side lanes going relatively poorly. Maybe not the Davai Lama lane in the first game, but this game, Davai Lama was left completely on an island. Eve was also kind of struggling a little bit. Force looked like he was completely out of control on the Tide. They kept it together. They made some really clutch movements, some clutch ganks, some great team fights, and I can't wait to see them continue on in the bracket.
Yeah, no idea what's going to happen tomorrow, but I certainly know that Wildcard Gaming are going to put up a fight, as they always have done in every step of the road. And yeah, this is just a crazy result. I mean, commiserations to Polaris. Honestly, I did mean it earlier when I said I want to see both these teams at TI, because they can just cause such upsets, and both of them can, and both of them did, but only one of them is going to get the chance to do so in the future here in the LCQs at the very least. As Polaris has just been kind of, I don't know, like the inconsistency this season, it really hurts.
Yeah, they had super high highs, but didn't have the comfort here. Right, Wildcard Gaming, both games, nothing was really completely unexpected. I don't know if we would have called this a lone Zeus necessarily, but everybody else on Wildcard just kind of on comfort heroes, and it showed. They looked really good. And what a performance from Alex. I don't think he's getting the Marcy ever again. That's probably the end of that.
No, pretty ridiculous, disrupting the mid lane massively, getting some early kills onto the Loach, and then later on just basically becoming another core. It's not okay what this hero can do with like 2 items.
And this was the moment that really looked good for Polaris. It didn't seem like Wildcard. In fairness, it was just a lot of pickoffs, right? This wasn't really a team fight, and this is when Natsumi was still looking scary. Polaris were cementing their lead, and somehow Wildcard just they stayed composed. They got their items up, and even this fight, I think this just goes to show Slark wishes he had a BKB. God, he wishes he had a BKB. This is going to be one of those games that haunts him a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I still have no idea what this Octarine call was about. Like, I don't understand it at all. Sorry, the Lincolns. Yeah.
Yeah, I get the idea. It's like I don't want my stats stolen. This Morphags is really strong, but there's just too many things to pop it. It's not doing what you're expecting it to do this game.
Yeah, and like the Morphags you don't even need to use like immediately in the fight, right? Like you can save it. It's not like a super high impact ability. You just want to get it off on him eventually at some point and weaken him when you get the opportunity to. So it's not like that snap initiation which Slark needs to be scared of, but maybe I just don't respect the Morphags enough as much as the Slark does. But yeah. Eve's also very consistent through both of the games today as well. He was some very good carry play.
Yeah, did have to get bailed out a couple of times here and there by Sam, but that's what your supports are there for. That's what they're buying the 4 staff for, so that you can go in and then still get bailed out. And yeah, I think he looks great. The escape from when the Slark was wailing on him with the Aegis, getting that morph off and then being able to drag him all the way back to the Zeus, which this just completely closed the game out. That was a really nice play for sure.
Yeah, Alone getting it done. Crazy good series from Alone. He's just such a good player. It's definitely one to keep an eye on. Very young, 18 years old, remember, and this Zeus has just been getting it done time and time again.
Yeah, and with that they've punched themselves a ticket to play up against Vici in the next round. So that should be an exciting one, actually. I don't see any reason why Wildcard can't just continue to build on this momentum. There are going to be more eyes on them now, so we might see teams start poking some holes in their drafts a little bit, but if they can play like they did today, I think they could actually make it reasonably far.
Yeah, and Vici are a serious team with some big names in it as well, so another big challenge for Wildcard. But as we see, their mentality seems great. They seem very chill. They don't seem worried, and Davai Lama will be our match MVP for this one. I mean, maybe it's just carrying over from game 1.
look, I think he played well, and he gets MVP for MVP player cam reactions as well in both games. He certainly looked great for us.
He did, playing up to the camera and being the motivator his team needed him to be, and being that force of PMA, you know, always very, very important. Absolutely. All right, well, that's going to do it for this series, and just closing thoughts on Polaris and, what they kind of need to work on this series, I guess. Do you think it was all in the laning phase, or?
I don't necessarily want to pin it on the laning phase. I think the Tide Hunter pick maybe letting them down a little bit in both drafts. Maybe that flexibility becoming their undoing a little bit in the very end, where some of these things, like if they had just played a whole bunch more games of Slark, maybe Natsumi would have had a slightly better read on what exactly he needed. And the Lelouch Lina just not really coming through in the way that they were expecting. So they're looking good. I think this team can come back stronger, but unfortunately their season ends here.
Yeah, we'll see what they can bring next season. That's going to be it for them. Wildcard move on, but don't go anywhere as we have our panel to break down the day's game. So we'll throw it over to Natty, Fia, T-Panda, and Kezu.
Thank you so much, Nomad and Basket. Those guys were just fantastic in that Polaris wildcard series. T-Panda, do you have any thoughts that you kind of want to throw out there about that series, the first 2-0 that we have had here on our mainstream?
It's also the first 2-0 Wildcard has had during the course of this LCQ. They've had ties, they've had losses, and now grinding a 2-0 victory for NA. I mean, probably some North American fans are happy that they didn't get knocked out, because Nouns is out, Infamous is out, Tempest is out, but there's one survivor.
Yeah, that's right. Wildcard kind of pulling the weight right now for the American region. It is sad to see Polaris fall a little bit short there. You know, they had a bit of a rough DPC season, but they looked fantastic with a little bit of a shuffle throughout the regional qualifiers. It's not enough, though, to get it done, so they are all done and dusted. Fia, do you see some, I guess, glimmer of hopes for Polaris, or was this just a wildcard series through and through?
It was very close games, so I think Polaris definitely had the glimmers of hope in this game, but, you know, my boys, North America, when all going out here in the first round of the lower bracket, some of us are gonna fight on, and hopefully they bring that energy, and we can, you know, continue to bring some more wins for the region. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I just want more of those player cam reactions, because Dalai Lama looked absolutely amazing. He was so hyped. He's looking around the rest of the team, maybe not on the same level as him, but I'm sure they're all celebrating after escaping being knocked out right there. But we had other series going on. It was a very long day today. I know over on B-Stream we had VG up against Nouns, so we could talk about, I guess, the other unfortunate result for NA was seeing it Nouns go out Kezu, them also being in a 2-0.
Yeah, sadly for them, it didn't really work out. They had a couple of good plays coming out in their games too that we, may have a chance to also look at later. So this is going to be the first one. So you have a pretty long engagement here where they fight. There's also going to be very similar clips from both the games, but as you see here, you have Vici coming with a lot of heroes. They can't quite get down Kostabile, he's very tanky, but eyes on Gunner here, who's coming through the river with his Invis rune. He even gets pinged out by BAB on the Mars, and you see the fight continuing. And this is going to be the first time for Nouns in this game that they take the lead. So the fight continues. It continues. They get a little bit spread. And now we have Gunner in a moment. He comes with the Invis rune. He's gonna, he's waiting for the right opportunity. He's gonna get his Requiem on these two heroes. It's gonna be Erika's first death of the game. And BAB on the Mars also TPs here, and in the aftermath they know this, they get him killed, and this was a very big swing for Nouns in this first game. And then in the next clip, it's one of the nicest executions that I have seen that I really want to highlight. It's around the Roshan. They're smoking right now with the Mars, Snap, and Undying. And the way that they use their spells, which we don't see it quite yet, but the Snapfire ulti, it gives vision while being mid-air for the Mars to make this exact jump right now. They also, at the same time, they force the BKB from Gunner, they disengage with a 4-staff cookie from Yang, then they buy enough time for the BKB to wear off, for their Pugna to respawn, for their Morph to arrive, and then Vici are actually the ones that claim this Aegis. And then the last clip of this game is already gonna be like, we have to skip a little bit ahead. They're already going high ground. They're up 9,000 gold. This Morphling is a monster. You see Chad Yang, he just mans up. He drops his tombstone here. And then if we look at the fight, he gets to take the racks pretty much for free on Morphling. And I just want to highlight how these heroes die. There's a great arena in the back again. And now it's just arena, Snapfire Kisses, and Tombstone basically kill both the Lone Druid and the Dragon Knight in this game. And then after that, Vici, they take the second set of racks, and they basically get to close out this first game.
Yeah, that was some
And then-
wild fights.
No, it really was. Like all these spells, it was just very hard for Nouns to deal with. And then in the second game, there's literally only one clip that is very important to look at. It's gonna be this top lane engagement, which again, as in game one, it's a very similar like position. But the main point that I have here is that it's not always about what the plays give you in the moment, but rather the follow-up. So if we look at this, Nouns rotate all the heroes here, and bear with me, this is gonna be like a 1-minute fight. So they use your chrono, everyone, they bring all the heroes over, Moon also TP. So now you've used 3 of your cores to TP to this place. And they are gonna end up getting some kills. As you can see here, lots of spells are being used. Nouns are using their spells kind of well. They're staying alive. A good pulverize here by Mu as well. And now there's a bit of a disengage. But the thing is, even if this play is good for you right now, we also need to look at the Jugger, who's currently farming in the bottom lane. And he was at the bottom of the net worth when this fight begins. So the fight turns out very good for Nouns. They will end up claiming now their first and second, and then even their third hero in the fight. But it's all gonna be about the aftermath. So I'm gonna let this clip run until finally BAB on the Mars falls 2, which is gonna be about in a moment here. And then we can skip ahead to the next clip, which is only 20 seconds ahead of time. The problem that happened from this fight is that Nouns had to use 3 of their TPs. All of their cores are out of resources, so now when Vici respawn, they just TP mid, they refill the bottle of puck, they take the mid tower. In the meantime, Erika, who was lowest net worth, is now top core net worth, and he took the bottom tier 1 tower. They now kill the Tusk, mid tower, and they get the Arcane Rune for puck. So even though plays might seem very good to you in the moment, and they might feel great, it's always a lot about the follow-up, like what are the consequences of your plays, because they end up with no resources and they lost all their map control of the bottom area as well.
Looks like it was a little bit of a tough series for Nouns, despite the fact that there were a few plays, you know, looking to be somewhat in their favor. You're right, it's all about what plays out afterwards, that aftermath Kezu. But Fear, it is one of those things that VG was surprisingly falling down to the lower bracket. They go up against Nouns and they get that 2-0. Should people be worried about them and potentially falling out when they do come up against Wildcard, or do you think they can make a lower bracket run based on how you've seen them play today?
I still think VG are going to be the favorites in that matchup. VG looked really strong. Wildcards, they scraped by. They looked good. It was a bit of a scrappy series. I think they still have a lot to prove there, but VG just looked pretty damn solid to me.
Yeah, I mean, well, Wildcard might have a lot to prove. We do still have some other series to look at. There's still 2 more elimination series, and one that we want to deep dive a bit more into is that Infamous up against Extreme Gaming. Some people might be a little bit surprised, but Infamous did end up taking game 1. And T-Panda, there were some clips and moments that really stood out for you.
Yeah, mostly you kind of have to dive into the draft to understand the game a bit better. Like the way Infamous utilized this early game was through their Juggernaut. Like Parker just completely surprised Extreme Gaming, and I think that's it's not just the strength of the Juggernaut versus Doom in the lane, but in general, I think Extreme Gaming wasn't ready for the aggression that Infamous would be applying in this game, which you should expect from an SA team, but it didn't show in their gameplay. You can see Infamous is constantly in the driver's seat, and they utilized their plays really well. They had the early boots plus Javelin on Jug. I think Jug hit like, was it 7 or 8 minutes, and he already had Javelin. It's like, all right, let's just roll as a 5-man crew. And Extreme Gaming were never together with 5. Ursa would be farming with Battle Fury. It's a good thing he's farming up, but meanwhile, his entire team is dying around the map 2, 3, 4 times this game. I was like, where do you actually get the kick in this Ursa? Is he going to have impact in the game if your opponent is getting far ahead? It's kind of a gamble for Infamous. They were like, we have to capitalize on these fights. If these fights were going wrong for Infamous, this would have been a quick GG, because then Ursa's free farming and the whole situation just collapses. But the map movement was so much more active on their side. They kept up the tempo. They were able to control Roshan. You can see on the Roche fight coming up here as well, where they just get the pickoffs early on. It just neutralizes Extreme Gaming's capability to fight them back. And I think this was a huge weapon for Infamous when they came into this series. You can see Ursa's getting picked off here, as well as, like, doesn't get Enrage off. He's out of position, and it was a missed game from Lu compared to what we saw earlier on today against I think that was the Secret series, where it's like Lu was having massive Terror Blades and just absolute of a fear presence in the game. I felt like it was not here at all in game number 1, which allowed Infamous to snatch away with that game 1 victory.
We're going to see game 1 closing out there, but let's have a little bit of a small talk about game 2 before we see game 3. And I know T-Panda, you had a look at that one as well. How did that one kind of play out for Extreme Gaming to be able to even out the series?
Well, the game was a lot harder for Infamous in general. Extreme Gaming would go for the DPs. You had the Shadow Fiends and the Ember Spear for Paparazzi. We know he's a menace when he gets that Ember pick for himself. But Infamous, when they drafted themselves Husker, which was something I thought of as a theme earlier on today, that teams would like to go for these semi-cheese picks. I don't think Husker is that much of a cheese pick these days than what it used to be before. But they doubled down on it. It was like, we're leading the series. We're going to cut it short here. And it failed.
Well, Fia, this series did end up going to that game 3, and XG, they closed it out. They had a little bit of a stronger look in this game 3. How did it play out from your eyes?
Well, it was not a very close game, but from the beginning, though, Infamous did have a good lead here. Like, they won the Nyx here. He did end up getting this first blood here, but as you can see on the CS on the left there, Infamous are winning all 3 lanes quite handedly in the CS department, and I was watching this. I was like, okay, maybe this is a game where they're just going to stomp through. They're going to win 3 lanes and just easily cruise through it, but that was not the case at all in this particular game. I was like, later on, as they may have won the CS and got a couple kills here and there, as you will see in the laning stage, they couldn't find that mid-game transition into getting kills. And you'll see in this moment here, they do the curse, they toss back into Rec Room, but on the low ground, PYW stuns the Shadow Fiend mid-combo, and they completely turned that around, and that right there was the beginning of the end for Infamous, as they really couldn't find much after this. And we'll kind of see after each clip here, like, this Naga will continue to farm, this DP will get larger and larger, and Infamous, they just don't have the heroes to really, like, combat, like, the split push capability and the team fight that you have on Extreme Gaming here. And this is like one of the big team fights as well. Parker, I think he does have his BKB here. They end up going on him. He unfortunately will not be able to click his BKB, and just the team fight presence is just going to be way too strong. It doesn't help when your Wyvern dies on the end there. Wyvern was out of position quite a bit in this game. It was like kind of maybe game 3 nerves here, where they're just a little bit out of position on the team. The team fight, there it is, the wall combination, the song, everything. Parker, the Nyx stun comes in, does not get the BKB off, instantly dies here. It's 14k net worth now at 23 minutes into the game, which is really substantial. Leo Style will go in and kill the Naga Siren with its full combo, but they don't really care on Extreme Gaming. They end up start diving tier 4s here to try and close this game out here. And you'll see at Old 11 at one point here, it's just tanking every single T4 as well as Paparazzi, and they're not even dying here. It's 20 minutes into the game. This game really wasn't that close at this point in the game, and it was a rough one. It was definitely a rough one from Infamous to go out on. Look at Old 11 here. He's just under the fountain. You think he's dead here for sure, right? He's gonna die, right? No, he still does not die. 20 minutes in the game, they're just sitting out of the tier 4s and just fountain farming almost at this point. And this is pretty much the last fight of the game here. You're going to see, like, they're trying to do what they can. They get a good curse off here, but the Aeon Disc is there and available. The SF ult is there, but at this point, look at the Naga's net worth. She's just too damn farmed, has the Aegis, and then, yeah, you can't really do much anymore for Infamous at this point in the game. The net worth lead is too big, the Nog is too farmed, they're playing the game out, you know, it's game 3, you might as well just play it out, but that's all she wrote for this one.
Yeah, I mean, any wavering thoughts that people might have had about Extreme Gaming dropping to the lower bracket has definitely been squished with a dominant performance there, knocking out Infamous. And we see the Shadow Fiend stocks kind of rising a little bit, but now seeing Extreme Gaming pick up a win with Naga, Wildcard picking up a win with her as well. Fear, do you think the Naga stocks are potentially going to increase and we could be seeing more of her throughout Last Chance qualifiers?
I'm not sold on the support Naga yet. Like, they had a real rough early game. That was kind of like a roller coaster of a game. And I think the core Naga is good in the right game. So we will see more Naga, but it's definitely like a late pick type of situation.
Yeah. All right, well, let's jump into the bracket so you can see how this very lengthy day has played out, what teams are still left, who's going to be facing up against who. We started off with that upper bracket. It was T1 going to advance, Team Secret as well, so they will be facing off. Virtus Pro and Team Liquid advancing in the upper bracket. Then, unfortunately, in the lower bracket, having Tempest, Infamous, Nouns, and Polaris all having their TI dreams ended today. It does leave us with Navi and Extreme in that low bracket brawl, and then VG Gaming up against Wildcard, which will be a nice, I guess, another China NA rematch. See who does come out on top for that. If we have a look at that bracket though, Kezu, is there anything that stands out? Is this something that you sort of expected the bracket to be taking shape as?
I guess after seeing the playoff brackets, kind of, with a little bit of the upset one, I think Wildcard, I'm very happy that they did get to win against Polaris and that they're moving on. I feel like that probably surprised me the most, and I think Extreme were maybe a little disappointing against Secret, but other than that, I think the other stuff is to be expected.
Yeah. Well, while we are closing out our thoughts of today, I do want to very quickly, though, ask you if you had a game, a play, or a series of the day, Kezu, that you thought stood out and maybe other people should go back and have a look at.
So I think, I don't know if I have a favorite game, but I have a favorite moment. It's definitely just now with Wildcard, where Dalai Lama, you know, he's on the camera, he's feeling himself, they're getting the upset win, they're feeling good. It's always nice to see when, you know, newer players, they get an upset win, they're having fun, that's great. In terms of play, there's one in the Liquid game where you can just tell that they're playing really well, they're buying the right items. It's the moment where Matu on the sniper, he gets double 4-staff, Cookie, Wraith Pack, Lotus Orb, and he survives with like 10 HP for 10 seconds and then turns it around.
Yeah. Is there one that stands out for you, T-Panda?
Team Secret versus Extreme in the upper bracket. I think that's a good watch. Basically, the redemption story for Secret, who started off with a pretty rocky first game. Their draft looked fun, but the execution wasn't quite near as good. Then we had this massive Terrorblade. I think that game 1 started off a very good spark for the series, but you know, 2-1 turnaround. I think it's still a really good series to watch.
And Fear, of course, I'm going to ask you as well. Was it the player cam reactions, or was there a pinpoint moment that stood out for you?
No, I definitely in the Extreme Secret Series game 2, it went over an hour long, and there was a nice play where they had like the Windbreaker, and they used it on the Spectre twice during 2 black holes, and kind of saved the Spectre through a refresher black hole of the Enigma, and like some 60-minute game. That was a really cool play. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, that one was actually, I think I was like on the edge of my seat. I was like, who is actually going to win this? It could go in any favor, especially once you hit those tier 5 neutrals. You just don't know who's going to be picking up what. But today, like I said, has been extremely long, and we are in for a treat as tomorrow's schedule is going to be coming up on our stream, so we can see who's going to be facing up against each other. The day opens at 10 a.m. with Virtus Pro up against Liquid. Then it's Navi and Extreme. Then obviously another lower bracket game will be played out depending on who loses and who wins over there on that B stream. But here on the main stream, we have T1 and Secret, then VG up against Wildcard, and same deal, going to be another match between whoever loses the upper bracket and wins the lower bracket. kind of confusing to say, almost a tongue twister. For you guys, though, as we are closing out this show, are there any thoughts you have for tomorrow's games or the heroes that you've seen played out today, Kezu?
So personally, I would say I'm most excited for the VP Liquid series, even though they're all quite banger games to, you know, make sure that you all get to see every single one. In terms of Heroes Rising, I feel like it's still a little bit all over the place, but I feel like Shadow Fiend is really solidifying his like place in the meta.
Yeah, I think he's actually like second most picked now, and I think before today he was something like 6. I don't know, he was so far down. Today his stock's definitely rising. But T-Panda, same question for you. Are there some niche heroes that are really coming to light as we see counters to the meta appearing?
We do actually, and it's a pretty surprising one because even though we have seen this hero in the meta for quite some time, it's Pudge. Pudge is rocking a 90% win rate with 9-1, and we didn't talk about Pudge at all for the last few days. Like, we've discovered the way he's building, the way you utilize Pudge, but we haven't really seen anything significant around the hero. But now, 9-1, I think that really says something about the Pudge hero. But for Kezu and Fear, I actually want to throw you, what do you think about some of these? Because, you know, we have Legion Commander, 0-4, but most importantly, Earthshaker. He's 6-16 from 22 games with a 26% win rate or something like that. He's really low. What's causing this?
Yeah, I mean, I think for Earthshaker, most of the games I saw him played in, he was playing against a Morphling. Morphling would get the early Ags, turn into the Shaker, he'd get the status resistance, plus the bonus damage from Enchant Totem. I think he had a lot of rough games, this Earthshaker, and he's generally just kind of a bit of a weak laner, but I think overall, he played against way too many Morphlings and got figured out, so people are going to kind of slow down picking the Shaker unless the Morph is banned.
Alrighty, well, we do have to close out today, and we will see you guys back here on the main channel bright and early tomorrow morning. Thank you all so much for joining us.